Hi, I'm Liam, aka Grey Rose, and welcome back to the Road to the Hall of Fame. We're currently 100 points behind where we need to be, so we'll get cracking, and hopefully we can make that a slightly smaller number. We might have time to finish all of these. It depends how quickly we go. But let me just close all this, and let's go for parameter name 2. This one was made by Mechatech. So let's have a look at this. So let's do that. Name equals ASDF. There's then going to be a second parameter. We're going to do exactly the same thing we did last time, which is just boot up into here, log in here quickly. See, there we go. Oh, not wanting to. Is this going to work now? No, it's not. Let's grab this again. Throw that in there. Let's see if this IDs it. No parameters were discovered. Oh. This might actually be parameter name XSS, not a hidden parameter again. So let's see if we can do this. Ooh. That almost worked. Oh, did I just mess that up? I did. And then an image, so one and GT is okay, cool. So let's have another little thing. We're probably gonna have to encode the equal signs, so those go to %3D. There you go. That's going to work a little bit better, isn't it? And you can see there, and then we're just going to do another %3D for your 1% 3D. It looks like there might be some stuff at the end, so I'm just going to do Alt equals that. Yeah, there we go. We'll see, check if that actually was necessary. Yeah, probably just to get rid of the rest of it. Let's actually encode that correctly, though. Oh, what? Actually, can we just do that? Oh, we can. Okay. There you go. So let's do that, and then let's just switch that out for a little document.cookie. Bang, flag. That's successfully solved. Lovely. So that's that one. Now the unfinished script. By Mason Jack. I used to work with him. Nice guy. Let's go here. Enter my name. Test. Hello, test. So that's reflected there. Let's do a little image tag in here. Let's actually go back so it's a little easier to see. Image source equals x on arrow equals. And that's, oh, it's not liking that. Oh, it just doesn't want you to put that last one. And then, okay, and then so we're going to wrap this in quotes, enter that, and then, oh, this is going to work. And that also didn't work. Fun. Oh, because that actually just broke the rest of the bowl. So we can't do that. So if that breaks the rest of it, what happens if I just do that? Okay, there you go. So this should then fix it for us. Yeah, so it then uses this one, so it treats this as like an extra parameter name there. and then you get your execution. You probably don't need the quotes now either, but we have them now, so nice. Again, because it's encoding the last one of these, you just leave it off. There, you can see there. You just leave it off, and then it'll close it. The parsing engine will normally fix things like that for you. Sometimes you have to mess around with it, but oh, spilling coffee. But normally you'd be fine. Let me just have a quick. Let's just make sure this actually works. There we go. Lovely. Grab this, send this to our victim, and we should get another successful solve. Done. Yay! Cool. Right, we're on a roll here. Right, 4 more. Let's see if we can do it within the time frame. Oh, unencoded. Okay. This is another mech attack one. So it's a stored XSS this time. Yeah, okay. Let me send this here. Sometimes with these, not normally how it works, but if I do that and then like this. No. Image. Ah, so it's literally encoded. Okay. Oh, so if you pass it in there, so that's then interpreting it, so it's not actually encoding it at all. So we then need a payload that doesn't use a space, which we have. We have an svg slash onload equals alert1. When this is processed, you'll see that SVGs. So for some reason, there is a reason why it is, but you can use slashes between attributes, and certain processing engines will just strip them out. I forget exactly why. I did used to know. But anyway, there's your SVG with your onload alert one. So we're just going to replace this quickly with document.cookie. File that off there, and then when we unload, you can see that it lets our document.cookie there, which is quite fun. This only works on kind of stored or persistent vectors, because if you sent somebody a link with this in, it wouldn't, like the browser would do the encoding for you. You have to use burp to kind of bypass some of that, and then you can do things like this. Or you can use like I wonder if post parameters will work. I don't know. Perhaps they're normally pretty encoded as well though. Right, length limit bypass. Okay, let me do this. Mason Jack again. Testing 1, 2, 3. Oh, testing 1, 2, 3. So I presume here there's going to be some kind of length limit. So let's try. Well, let's just show that first. Script right. Input too long. Maximum length is 15 characters. Now there's a few 15 character XSSs. The classic one is. I think this is actually too long as well. Yeah, but you can do some really cool stuff with. I think it's script eval name. Just have a quick. Yeah. Ah, there we go. Let me just see. This is going to work. That's actually too long as well. What was we just put? Oh, hang on a second. Yeah. back. Is it dot length in here? Dot length? Yeah, it's dot length. Okay. Presumably another way of doing this as well. Let's have a look in here. Sometimes you might be able to duplicate the parameter. Okay, no, you can't. Message attempts as a hash string. Okay, cool. There is a. The traditional one is svg on load equals eval name. Oh wait, we might be able to do that. Right. Does this just get in the length thing? That's too long as well. Oh no, JavaScript won't work. A tags won't work. That's 18. Huh. Let's see. Limit. There is one. I'm just forgetting it. Since equals that. Length limit. Oh, limit length. It's not like sometimes you can change the request method. Probably that. Oh. Oh yeah, no, it is literally that. Okay. Cool. So yeah, if you change that to there, it'll be there, and then it'll preview here. So if I then do script, what happens? There you go. So script alert one script. So it's only the length limit is only enforced when you're going via get. So if you change the post, you can then do this, and it'll actually do it twice for some reason. Document cookie. So if we do this, you can see there. Then to deliver it, we go. So you would you would do this and generate CSRF POC, but unfortunately that's only in the pro version. So we're not going to do that. We're going to copy the URL. We're going to go to our payload hosting, tab, my labs, payload hosting. You can see ID submit me action. We're going to replace the action here. We're going to grab the value of this, which is message, and we're going to add it in the input type node value, script alert, document script. So this is going to be message now as opposed to name. That's submitting to the right thing. So now if we save this and send it, we should hopefully, there we go. We should hopefully get our length limit call. We should hopefully then get our execution. So if we then copy this URL here, copy link address, and then submit that to here, we should hopefully CServe our payload into the user, bypassing the length limit. So always remember to change the method as well. Yay, well done. Always remember to change the method because sometimes you can get kind of some quite interesting differences in interactions, especially if people are just saying like grab the parameters from the request. Certain frameworks, certain languages will be quite agnostic in that sense. So you can say just grab the parameters, but they'll only have they'll write it saying like if get parameter is longer than 15 characters, do this. If but then they won't write any logic for the post. So then you can bypass it. Right, following protocol. I think I wrote this. I did. Lovely. let me have a look at this. I think this is an introduction to prototype pollution, which is it? Yes, it is. So what we're going to do here, I'll view the page source here. So we have, thanks to Salakar for some of this. So we instigate a logging object. Const query string is new URLs parameter grabbing from location of search. We then parse it. We then within defining his object, I think Salakar actually wrote that. The deep merge then kind of goes through recursively traverses. That's difficult to say. Recursively traverses a object, and at that point, what you can do then is, and then merges them all down. So it kind of flattens an object or merges two objects together. So then you document settlement ID, and then it uses inner text. So as soon as you see inner text, you know you're not getting DOM XSS. That's just not happening. So ignore that. And then it's set timeout logging.function 1000. Now this one's prototype pollution is actually quite a challenge. You can see that to be fair, this one wasn't released very long ago, but there aren't that many solves on it, and that reason being that's not what I want to do. Let me show you the purposes of something called the kind of object prototype JavaScript. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do var a equals this, right? So we now have a is an empty array, right? And I can add things to empty dictionary adjacent. A test equals 1, right? And then if I go a, you can see test is 1. Now, a has a series of objects. So if I just do a and then drop this down, you can see a has a prototype, and that prototype is an object, right? And these have, the constructor has own property as prototype, or get proto, set proto, right? So what we can do then is if I do another object, right? So var b equals this, right? Then b dot underscore proto dot testing equals, right? Like that. So b, we do that. It's not actually added to it, but then if we go to the prototype, we should see that there's now on the prototype there's now a value testing equals test, which is kind of interesting. The more interesting thing though is even though we instigated a beforehand, we should then go a testing, and a testing is test. So you've modified the global prototype for the object, right? So you can when we go back to our example here, you can see that even though we've got var logging here, we can we can modify the function because a deep merge is being performed on query object. Default search is nothing, and then it's going to do that. So defaults and query object, even though we never touch the logging function, because of prototype pollution, because of this deep merge function, we can effectively set func to something that we can then call. So if I go to here, I do this, and then I'm going to add underscore proto, underscore, and then we're going to add a nested object. I'm going to do func is alert document, like so. We do that, bang. when that didn't run for a second, if I cock this up, I cock my own lab up. But no. So yeah, this is going to run through here, and now you'll be able to see actually if we just grab any other object dot func. Sorry. It's alert document.cookie. Bang, prototype pollution. This is one of the ones where if you see it in a pen test, it'll either be like CVSS 0 because there's no way you can actually get somebody else prototype pollute somebody else's object or pollute an object in somebody else's session, or it'll be CVSS 10 because you just got RCE. There's no in between. Boom. Hopefully this works. Yay! Right, what time are we on? Oh, let's do this one. You see, this one's only got 3 solved. This one actually came out, God, when? Like a couple of days ago? Maybe a week ago? You see Mechatech got there first, so jostling for the top place. Let's get My Labs, open link in new tab, XSSy, grab the payload hosting, because we are going to need this, but we're going to need it for this part, the access log, which is very cleverly done using WebSockets. Grab that, let's grab this, launch lab, pull this back here, capture local storage. What we're going to do is we're going to just do a script alert script. And you'll see that that fires. Now, this is interesting because in local storage, here, where are we? Application? Application. You can see that the flag's actually set there. So I'll show you how you access local storage. You do local storage dot get item flag, and that'll give you the value of it. So what we can now do is fetch that, right? But we're going to do there plus local storage dot get item flag, right? Like so. And then we're just going to add mode, no cause there, just so it doesn't throw an error. Don't want it to, we don't want to interact with it. Any of that. We send this, we can then see that here you've got your flag there. In fact, we can even make it really pretty and do just to make it nice and obvious for ourselves. We're going to grab that. We're going to go back here. We're going to script. Oh, grab this. Control C. V. Paste that in there. Submit that. We're going to see very quickly that that's appeared again. We're going to grab that URL from ourselves. Send this over here. That'll fire off. We'll just wait. And then grab our flag. Bang, bang. Successfully solved. And that is the end of all the apprentice labs. Next time, we're going to have to go on to some adept labs. These are for 5 points, so we should be well on our way. I think we only need 80 points. So 16 labs. I think there are 16 of these, and then we'll actually be in the Hall of Fame. And I don't know what I'm going to do then. We'll see. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Cheers.